Everybody, this is Matt Bergman, and I just want to give you a quick tutorial on how to create a choose your own adventure in Google Forms. Several weeks ago, I gave a webinar, and I've been getting questions on how to actually do it, so I want to share with you in a video format how it works. So as you can see, I have a Google form set up here where we're going to be exploring different US presidents. So if you want to learn more about Abraham Lincoln, you're going to click on this button. If you want to learn more about George Washington, you'll click on this button. So what's the very first thing that you need to do? Well, first you want to set up your questions just like this and realize that it has to be a multiple choice question that you're going to set up in order to go to a different location based upon their answer. So that's the first thing. The second thing would be over here on the right hand side of the toolbar, you're going to see this is for adding a section. You're going to add a section, and we're going to label that section, we'll call it Abraham Lincoln. Now in this section right here, we can put information about Abraham Lincoln. We might want to put text. So let's say about his life. We could put a short bio right here if we'd like. We could also add an image. What I like about the images is that you can search through Google right here, and all of these are labeled for commercial reuse. So you can use all of these images again. So I'll just go ahead and search for Abraham Lincoln. Here's a really good picture, so I'm going to hit select. And we have Abraham Lincoln right here. I can shrink it, so I can just drag this down and there we go. So let's say, for instance, I want to move this up. I can move this up so that now we have a picture of Abraham Lincoln. If I want to center it, I can center it. And then we have about his life right here. I could even add hyperlinks and other content as well. And if I wanted to add a video, I can even add a YouTube video right here. And if I do a search for Abraham Lincoln, just do this, and it'll search through some different videos. Let's say, for instance, I want this right here. I'll just hit select, and it'll embed this video. I can make the video just a tad bit bigger, and I can move it towards the center simply by clicking right here and then hitting center. So I have a lot of information about Abraham Lincoln now. So what I would then do is I'd want to create another section, and we'll do this as George Washington. Okay, and then once again we can put in information about George Washington right here. Now there's something that you should keep in mind, and that is this. Down at the bottom right here after each section, you'll see it says continue to section 2. You don't necessarily have to have that happen. You can just say when they're done with this section, just submit the form. You'll notice that the last section doesn't have that option because it automatically goes to submit form. Okay, so we have two sections, George Washington and we have Abraham Lincoln. All right, so here's where this starts. I'm going to click on this question, the multiple choice question, and I'm going to go to these three dots right here. So when I go to the three dots, I'm going to choose go to a section based upon an answer, and when I do that, then I'm going to click right here to continue to the next section. I'm going to say when you go to Abraham Lincoln, you're going to go to Abraham Lincoln. And when you go right here to George Washington, you'll go to George Washington. Okay, so that right there is how you're going to set that up. So I'm going to show you what this is going to look like now. I'm just going to preview it. So I have to put in my name, and then I'll choose Abraham Lincoln. When I hit next, watch what happens. It brings me to the Abraham Lincoln section, and then I can hit submit when I'm finished. Or I can go ahead and choose George Washington, click next, and then here's my George Washington section, and then I can hit submit. So that's a quick and easy way on how you can go to a section based upon an answer. If you want to do something a little bit more advanced, what you could also do is this. You could add a section right after Abraham Lincoln right here, and we could make it a quiz. So we could add a quiz, and we could make quiz questions about Abraham Lincoln right here. So let me do a multiple choice question. What was Abraham Lincoln's I would say, what was President Lincoln's first name? Okay, and then we could go ahead and we could make this a multiple choice question. I could then say Abe. I could say, we could do George, and we'll just leave it as that. So now what I want to do now is I want to make sure that this section right here where Abraham Lincoln is, okay, I want to make sure that after section 2 I go to the next section, which would be right here, and I want to make sure that this says submit form when I'm finished. Okay, so here's how you make a quiz out of this. You simply go up to the settings gear, you go to quizzes, you make this a quiz, you can customize the way that participants see information. Now you can go to your question. So here's Abraham Lincoln. I'm going to go to this question. I'm going to choose answer key. I'm going to choose the correct answer, and I'm going to give it a point value. I can even add question feedback if I'd like. Okay, so I'm not going to do that right now, but this is how it will look. So if I go right up here to preview it, type in my name, go to Abraham Lincoln, I learn about Abraham Lincoln right here, I click the next button. Now I can go ahead and choose the right answer and hit submit. And so I can view my score the way that I have it set up. I can view my score that, yes, I got this right. Okay, so you can do that. Now you might be saying, well, how do I actually do that with the George Washington example? Well, you can do that with the George Washington example the very same way. Is you go right down here to George Washington. Let's say that we have a video and other text right here. I can simply add another section. We'll call it a quiz. Okay. And as you can see, the George Washington's information got stuck up here, so I can drag and drop. I can then go ahead and add a multiple choice question right here. Once again, what was President Washington's first name? Okay, and once again, I can choose a multiple choice answer. I can choose Abe, and I can choose George. Okay, once again, I'll go to the answer key. I'll choose George, I'll choose a point value, and now we are good. So as you can see, when I preview this, and I go to George Washington, and I hit next, it'll give me information about George Washington. I hit next, and then I can go ahead and put George Washington's first name. I can see that, oh, I got it wrong, okay, and this was the correct answer, okay. Actually, right down here, this was the correct answer. Okay, so I can learn a little bit more about that. So hopefully that helps, and enjoy creating a choose your own adventure in Google Forms.